Welcome to SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with the headlines. ICT sentences former MP Saiful Islam and 5 others to death in Australia crimes against humanity case. Jamaat would cover the embezzled money if party comes to power, said Jamaat Islami chief, vowed to ensure security rights of all women's safety. Mr. Fakhrul slams Jamaat Islami's role in liberation war. Now in details. The International Crimes Tribunal 2 today convicted and sentenced 6 individuals, including former Dhaka 19 lawmaker MD Saiful Islam, to death. Another 7 others to life imprisonment in a crime against humanity case over the killing of 7 youth and the subsequent burning of 6 of their bodies in Australia on August 5, 2024. The court also sentenced 2 others to 7 years imprisonment each in a case. Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhary, chairman of the 3-judge panel of the ICT2, the pronounced of judgment today. The now death row convict R. Muhammad Saiful Islam, former officer in charge of Australia Police Station AFM, Syed Rauni, former Assistant Sub-Inspector Bishwajit Shah, Jubilee activist Rauni Vuya, former Sub-Inspector Abdul Malik and former Constable Mukul Chowdhury. The tribunal sentenced former Deputy Inspector General of Police Syed Nurul Islam, former Superintendent of Police Muhammad Asaduzzaman Ripon, former Additional Superintendent of Police Muhammad Abdullah Al-Kafi, former Assistant Superintendent of Police Muhammad Shahidul Islam, former Inspector Muhammad Masudur Rahman and Nirmal Kumar Dash, and former Detective Branch Inspector Muhammad Arafat Hassan to life imprisonment. Former Sub-Inspector Arafatuddin and former Assistant Sub-Inspector Kamrul Hassan were sentenced to 7 years in jail. Jamaat Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman today pledged to ensure the security and rights of people of all religions and communities while promising strict measures to protect women from harassment and threats as well. Speaking at an election rally organized by the Nauga District Jamaat at Atim Ground in Nauga Town, Shafiqur said, "No one should live in fear for their religion. This country belongs to all of us and we will move forward together, respecting everyone's right and safety." He also emphasized that women will be guaranteed respect and protection at home, workplace and public spaces as well. No cruel person will dare to raise their eyes toward the daughter of the nation. That environment will be ensured, he also added. Shafiqur also criticized corruption and extortion, saying that Jamaat, if in power, would not support corrupt individual or illegal activities and would recover money embezzled from the country over the years. Highlighting Nauga's role as major agriculture district, he also promised to improve infrastructure, provide fair prices to farmers, establish shortage facility and promote fruit processing and tourism while preserving archaeological sites. Bangladesh Jamaat Islami Secretary General Mia Ghulam Parwar today expressed concern over the environment surrounding February 12, the national election. If the authorities remain indifferent, the chance for the free, fair and acceptable election will be lost. He also said, while announcing his election manifesto at Khulna Press Club, he also said the government still has been days to recover illegal weapons, arrest terrorist and extortion near polling center and stop to flow of black money, adding that this responsibility lies with the government, the Home Ministry and the Election Commission since the election schedule was announced. Ghulam Parwar also said, although the Election Commission and the head of government have promised a free, fair and festive election, the actual situation is different. He also alleged the candidates, party worker and a voter are being attacked just a week before the election. If the situation, country people won't be able to go to polling stations without fear. BNP Secretary General Mr. Fakhrul Islam Alamgir today criticized Jamaat Islami over its role during Bangladesh 1971 Liberation War, saying the party must clarify its position on its country's independence. Jamaat leaders are currently making a statement, but they should first explain their position during the country's struggle for independence, said Farkul while addressing a rally at the Farabari High School ground in Thakurgaon. There is no scope to forget about 1971, and just as people do not forget 2024 when the country regained its democratic system. He also added, the country achieved independence through the Liberation War. The history must never be erased, said the BNP leader. After 15 long years, the country now has a real opportunity to hold a fair, free and credible election. He said, if people participated spontaneously and cast their vote, the election would become historic and widely acceptable, Mr. Farkul further added. BNP Chairman Tariq Rahman will announce the party's election manifesto for 13th Parliamentary National Election scheduled for February 12. The event will be presided over the party's Secretary General Mr. Farkul Islam Alamgir and conducted by Central Election Steering Committee Chairman, the Standing Committee member Nazrul Islam Khan. Regarding the election manifesto, Central Election Steering Committee spokesperson Mahdi Amin said, BNP is a party of the masses and the party for grassroots empowerment. Under the guidance of our chairman, Tariq Rahman, we have worked with people from all walks of life. He further said, BNP wants to build a Bangladesh where people are truly empowered. Our manifesto at every stage focuses on people's empowerment, state ownership by the people, protection of rights, security, and inclusive development, so that from now on, they and their family can live much better lives. Shipping advisor M. Shakawat Hussain has faced protests from worker and employee during a visit to Chittagong port amid an ongoing strike. Around 11 a.m. today, he came under fire from protesting worker and employee outside gate number 4 of the port. Earlier in the morning, the advisor arrived at Chittagong port. As he was leaving the port premises, protesters gathered outside gate number 4 and chanted various slogans. At one point, the advisor got down from his vehicle and tried to talk to the protester. Under the banner of the Port Protection Struggle Council, workers have been observing work stoppages since Saturday in protest against government decision to lease the new morning counter terminal UAE-based company DP World. After observing 8-hour work stoppages for the first time for the first 3 days, the protester launched an indefinite strike from Tuesday. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 Roberts Lane, Singapore 218302. Phone 0065 629 24900. বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has deployed an army battalion to the Kaimana district in the central Karawa state after suspected jihadist fighter killed 170 people in an overnight attack, said his office on Thursday. Thursday's assault on the Wara village was deadliest this year in the state bordering Niger, a hotspot where Islamic State, West Africa province and other armed groups have stepped up village attack and mass kidnapping as well. Nearly 200 people have been killed by armed men in separate attack in remote villages in central and northern Nigeria, a local lawmaker resident and police said on Wednesday, as security forces searched for the survivor and chased the attacker. Villagers fled into surrounding the bushland during the attack. The gunmen torched homes and shops. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi, in a post of X, said on Wednesday the nuclear talks with the US are set to be held in the Omani capital, Muscat, at around 10 a.m. on Friday. A US official later confirmed the meeting, although US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said earlier that meaningful talks between the United States and Iran will have to include Tehran's missile arsenal and issues with the senior Iranian official responded to by saying talks would only about to be Iran nuclear program and this missile program was off a table. A second senior Iranian official said Tehran would welcome negotiation over the nuclear dispute, but the US insistence on dealing with non-nuclear issues could jeopardize on talks. Earlier today, Donald Trump warned that bad things would probably happen if a deal could not be raised.
That the US may join this aggression.
2 people were injured in a Russian overnight drone attack on Ukraine's capital, Kiev. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said on Thursday. The Klitschko said the attack damaged residential building in one district, while in another, debris fell on the roof of official building, causing a fire. Debris also landed near the shopping center, and windows were shattered at a kindergarten, Seiko said on Telegram. The messaging app, the State Emergency Services Ukraine, realized video showing this aftermath of the strike in Kiev.
Their swimming pool for ultimate relaxation, modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties.
Ukrainian soldiers have been killed, at least 55,000 the battlefield since the start of Russia full-scale war, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told France TV during an interview. Officially on the battlefield, the number of military personnel killed, whether the carrier soldier people who were mobilized, is 55,000. Zelensky said there is a large number of people that Ukraine consider missing. He also added, Kiev largely avoided commenting on its losses for the first 2 years of the full-scale invasion until Zelensky announced in February 2024 that 31,000 Ukrainian troops had been killed. China on Wednesday criticized that it took malicious slander and smear campaign after France detained 4 people in a spying investigations, urging Paris to safeguard on the right for the Chinese national involved. China opposes malicious slander and smear campaign against China and demand the relevant parties earnestly protest the legitimate right and interest of Chinese citizens. A Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said during a regular news conference 4 people, including 2 Chinese nationals, have been arrested in France on suspicion of spying China, were brought before investigative judges. The Paris Public Prosecutor Office said on Wednesday the Cybercrime Division of Paris Public Prosecutor Office has opened a judicial investigation into affair.
作为原则，中方反对对华的恶意污蔑抹黑，要求有关方面切实保障中国公民的合法权益。
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer expressed regret on Wednesday for appointing Peter Monoston, an UK ambassador to Washington, saying the Labour veteran had created a litany of deceit about his ties. US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein The stammer premierships for the undergoing pressure from the Labour MP, angry at the decision for the approved and appointed Lord Peter Mandelson to the role of British ambassador to Washington despite knowing about his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Starmer credit to pressure front of opposition, the Conservative Party, to release documents on how Mandelson was appointed and was forced to water down an attempt to limit the scope of disclosure after facing a revolt on their own party and the Mandelson as government minister when Labour was previously in more power than 15 years ago. White House Lord on Tuesday over the Epstein is now under police investigation for alleged misconduct in office. Australian authorities said on Thursday they were treating as a terrorism incident an attempt to bomb a rally protesting against country's National Day on January 26. A 31-year-old man was arrested after allegedly hurling a homemade bomb into a crowd of several thousand people in Perth on January 26. The bomb failed to detonate. No one was injured in the incident. Police was Western Australia Premier Roger Cook told a news conference on Thursday. The man, right supremacist views an attack was an attempt to target Australia Aboriginal people in the country, two main indigenous groups. The terror charge is the first time the offence has been levelled in the state of Western Australia. It carries a maximum sentence for life in prison. Relations between Taiwan and the US are rock solid and cooperation program will continue and not change. Taiwan President Lai Ching said on Thursday after Chinese President Xi Jinping discussed Taiwan with President Donald Trump. In a Wednesday call, Xi Jinping, the US could carefully handle armed stealth for the island was Beijing view as its own territory. Speaking to reporter in central Taiwan, Lai said Taiwan and US have a strong channel for the communication, adding that US commitment of Taiwan was also the aspart remain unchanged. Colombian President Gustavo Petro addressed the Organization of American States Permanent Council in Washington on Wednesday, questioning the relevance of multilateral institutions and calling for the global democratic reform. Petro met with CAUS Secretary General Albert Ramdin before his intervention on his third day visiting Washington. The Colombian leader criticized the United Nations for the failing on prevent what he described as a genocide in Gaza, stating its existence was being questioned due to its lack of power. Petro proposed a dialogue between civilization and global democracy. Russia on Wednesday said there is no indications that India reconsidered its approach to energy cooperation with Moscow, rejecting claim by US President Donald Trump that New Delhi had agreed to stop buying Russian oil. The Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said on hydrocarbon trade between India and Russia remains mutually friendship and beneficial and contributes to stability in the global energy market. No reason to believe India had reconsidered its approach to energy cooperation with Russia, said the Zakharova. The trade in resource is beneficial for both sides and contribute to maintaining stability in the international energy market, she also added. US President Donald Trump said on Wednesday he would deploy federal agents to assist the search for the elderly mother for US journalist and television host the Savannah Godfrey, who vanished from the Arizona home several days ago. Police were seen cordoning off from the 84-year-old mother of the Savannah on Wednesday. Authorities believe she was abducted, and Arizona staff said on Monday after she vanished from the residence near the Tuscum was found missing over the weekend. Nancy Guthrie was last seen home the Saturday night when she was visited by the children. Before ending, we'll go through the SATV News headlines again. ICT sentences former MP Saiful Islam and 5 others to death in Australia crimes against humanity case. Jamaat would recover embezzled money if party comes to power, said Jamaat Islami chief, vows to ensure security, right of all, women's safety. Mr. Fakhrul slams Jamaat Islami's role in liberation war. You are up to date with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.